Hello everyone and welcome to the Complete Christian. My name is Chidi and this is my wife.
Goodness.
So in today's video we're going to be talking to our daughter about adultery and sex. So if you watched my previous video, we talked about the 10 Commandments and she asked what does adultery mean. So we're going to just carry on from there and talk about adultery and sex and what it means from a Christian perspective. So let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Okay. What are we doing anyways?
Okay, so we need to have a chat. Yeah?
Oh, about the adultery thing?
Yeah. So what do you think it is?
Being respectful to your adults.
Okay. Is that what we told you? Is that what I told you is the meaning?
No.
You don't remember?
No.
So you remember when we did the lesson about 10 Commandments?
Yeah,
And we talked about you shall not commit adultery. So you don't remember how I explained it to you?
No.
Okay. So anyway, so let me explain it a bit more to you because you were asking and asking, isn't it? So adultery, yeah, is where like how me and your mom we're married, yeah. So we are adults and we're married, and we went to church and we did our wedding. So and then now we can live together as husband and wife. Yeah. So and then imagine if I went and then I started living with someone else who is not your mom and who is not my wife.
Yeah.
And I started living with them as if we are married people, but we're not. Do you understand that? So that's not good, is it?
No.
So why do you think that's not good?
Because you're not living with your family and it's disrespectful
To who?
to your wife and your family.
That's good. Well done. So yeah, and then the reason why it's called adultery is because as married people, there's something that married people do that people who are not married are not allowed to do.
What's a married people?
Married.
Oh.
So there's something we do that married people are not allowed to do. That's
people who are not married.
That people who are not married are not allowed to do, and that's to make babies.
Does she know what that is? Do you know what that
Do
is?
you know how babies are made?
No.
Give me an idea. Maybe give me a guess. What you think is how babies are made?
How
Take
can
a
you say
guess.
don't know? Just try.
Take
Come
a
on.
guess.
We're having a chat here.
A seed.
Okay, go on. So where do babies come from?
The lady's stomach.
Okay, how does it get in there?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, but you said the seed. When you say the seed, what do you mean by the seed?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So how did you come up with the seed?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, so there's something married people do to make babies. Yeah, and that's called sex. Right? Have you heard that word before?
It says in my book.
The puberty book.
Yeah.
That book. So what does it say it is?
I don't remember.
But you've read it. How come you don't remember?
because I read it yesterday, maybe a day before.
Okay. So yeah, so that's how babies are made. When husband and wife have sex, then they have babies. Yeah, and then God doesn't like it when people have sex with who is not their husband or their wife, and it's only allowed for people who are married. Yeah, maybe you should explain to her what sex
Carry
is.
on now. Finish your what you were saying.
Yeah? Okay, so babies. So when we have sex, we have babies. So the women, yeah, have eggs in their tummy, right? And
so is it kind of like what I said, a seed?
something like that, yeah. What did you have you remembered? What it is now?
So like the seed turns into a baby and then the baby grows.
Yeah, but how does the seed get there? How does it
turn into a baby?
How does it get there and turn into a baby?
It will grow while you're eating.
Okay. So so you get women have eggs in their tummy, right? It's called a womb. Yeah. And men have what is called sperm. It's like a fluid that comes from, how you have a vagina? So men have penis.
Yeah.
She knows that, don't you?
Yeah.
You've said that to me before.
Yeah.
Yep. So men have penis, right?
Yes.
So when married people have sex, what they do is they put their penis, into the vagina, right? And when they put the penis into the vagina, what happens is that the fluid, from the man goes into the vagina of the boy, of the woman. Yeah, so that's what husband and wife do. And when that happens, then the egg in the woman starts growing into a baby. And then the tummy starts becoming big and big till they give birth.
You missed something. When the fluid goes into the woman's vagina, it goes and mixes up with the egg in there, isn't it? So the fluid called sperm and the egg, they join together, and obviously it becomes a baby. A baby starts growing from there.
But will it be called smeg then?
No.
What?
Smeg.
What's that?
Sperm and egg, right?
Oh, right. Is that what you mean?
No, it's not smeg. Some people call it zygote. Well, it's a big word for people who go to school and learn biology. It's a big word, but it's just basically it starts growing from there. It becomes a baby, basically, and then starts growing from there, and that's how.
Sit properly.
Yeah, I'm sitting properly.
And that's how babies are made. Do you want to say something?
I think you said it all.
Okay, so that's what married people do. They have sex, and that's how sex works, right? They put their penis into the wife's vagina and put the sperm in the wife, and then the wife has a baby, and the baby starts growing, right? So important thing to remember is only for married people. Yeah, and remember what we learned: you shall not commit adultery. So that means only married people can do this. Yeah. And something else, if someone tells you, show me your vagina, and then I'll show you my penis, or show you, what do you say?
No.
Yeah, because that's inappropriate, isn't it? Because they might want you to start having sex or touching them in an inappropriate manner, isn't it? And it's only for
married people.
Only for married people. And on top of that, obviously, is a sin. It's breaking God's rule, isn't it? Because God said don't do it, isn't it? Unless you're married. So just for you to know that, yeah. So, and then like that's adultery, but that's for people who are married. But people who are not married and they do that is called fornication in the Bible. So when you hear adultery or fornication, adultery is when married people do it, but they're doing it with someone else who is not their wife or husband. For fornication is when young people who are not married do it with themselves, and that also is a sin. It's the same like adultery. It's breaking God's rule. Yeah. Do you have any question?
No.
Okay, you don't have any questions, Sarah? You've been waiting to hear this since. Are you confused or something? Huh?
Yeah.
What do you need clarification for?
Like the egg and the fluid.
Yeah.
How does it turn into a baby?
Well, that's what happens inside the tummy. We can't see it because it's inside the tummy, isn't it?
That's how God made it. That's how God planned for babies to come.
Yeah.
So we can't see what is going on inside, but we know the fluid goes in from the penis and goes into the woman's vagina, and the egg and the sperm, they meet together, and baby starts from there. They start growing the baby, but we don't know. We can't really explain in details how that happens. Obviously, you can't know everything today. As you keep growing, you hear more stuff. Anyone will keep talking to you about more stuff as we keep growing. But you should be able to ask as much questions as possible. Obviously, when you hear your friends talking about sex and having boyfriends and stuff like that, you don't really have to join them. You can, if you're not sure, you can ask us. That's why obviously we're here to guide you and talk to you about things you're not quite sure about, and so that you don't go with the wrong people and do the wrong thing against God. We're Christians, aren't we?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And also, you're not. It's also against God's rule for you to see someone else naked
Private.
or in their private, right? And you shouldn't allow anyone to see you naked. You understand?
Yeah.
If they say, "Oh, show me your body" or whatever, it's inappropriate. You understand it? Is there anything else we're missing?
Not really. It's because she's been asking. Remember, you were asking me about sex. So what is sex? So now you know the meaning. So if somebody says to you, "What is sex?" What do you say to them?
I don't remember.
We just talked about it now. How can you not remember? Are you feeling a bit embarrassed?
A little bit.
A little bit. Why?
I don't know.
But you were looking forward to this, weren't you?
Anyway, I think that's the end of it,
That's
isn't
it.
it? That's the end of. So, can you remember the main points of what we talked about?
You can do adultery if you're an adult and you're married, and you can't do it if you're not married and you don't live together. And that's called
Fornication.
fornication. And it's against God's rule.
Yeah. Okay. So sex is what adults do to have baby, and only married people do it. So when you get married, you can do that, but it's only when you can't do that until you get married. Yeah.
Except you're ready to have a baby as a 10-year-old. Are you? You want to be a mom when you're 15? No, because if you have sex, you're going to get pregnant.
That's what happens when people have sex. Okay. So
That should be.
that's the end of it. So okay. So anytime you have any question, even when you're reading your puberty books or whatever, yeah, any question you have, you can ask me or ask your mom. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right then. Good night. How did it go?
I think it went well. I mean, she was a bit embarrassed, really, like she was shy, and but I think we didn't go too deep. I mean, at this stage, this is her first time really hearing the word, like the meaning of the word. She has no clue to what sex is, but she had no clue before now. So, just knowing about it, don't really need to go like too deep into it. We'll let her digest what she's just got. I've
actually thought I went too deep, like in my explanation.
Yeah. But
yeah.
I mean, it was good. I'd say it was good. It wasn't too deep, and we just let her,
grow up a bit.
Let it sink in. Maybe she would probably have questions to ask, and obviously as we go, keep explaining further. And we'll still keep going deeper.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really important. A lot of people are not actually doing this. When I was growing up, I didn't have this kind of conversation.
We'll talk about sex with you, really.
They will say, "Oh, so we don't want you to do what you're not supposed to do."
That's it. So my dad would say, "Working a why and a boring man and woman, no they work out together." That's it. That's the end of.
You know. But right now, because they are learning early. They're learning these things from school. I think it's really important that we have these conversations.
Yeah, obviously, like me, a mom of 3 girls with the happenings around the world, you really want to create their awareness before they hear it outside or start, exploring on what they've heard. It's better you tell them, let's come from you, and at least that way the line of communication is open. They can come and ask and clarify stuff rather than do stuff outside you have no clue about and maybe get into trouble or do what they shouldn't be doing out of ignorance because nobody said anything to them, or people taking advantage of your girl child or your boy child because they could tell this one doesn't know what's going on. But when they are properly equipped and they are confident they know what they're doing, then when anybody comes with what is not right, then they can just easily say, no, I don't want this. At least they have the choice. They know they are able to make that choice and choose to say, I do not want this, or I want this. At least is that you've enabled them, empowered them to make that decision. So it's just too much out there going on out there. So the earlier we start telling these kids this thing, the better, because girls are having their periods much more earlier than normal now, like before. Even boys are getting into puberty and all these things are happening quicker. So obviously the earlier it's happening, then the earlier we have to start telling them these things as well, because they will eventually get to know, they will eventually get to hear, and you really don't want them getting the wrong information from the wrong source. So if you don't want that happening, you do it yourself. So
I think you basically took out the word from my mouth, which is confidence. So if their mates are talking to them in school to say, let's do this or do that, because they already know about it before, so they're empowered and they're confident to defend themselves. And also because we talked about it from a Christian perspective, they know that God is watching and they're accountable to God and their parents. That's it, for today. If you like this content, please smash the like button, click the subscribe button, and look out for more videos on the family and similar topics like this. So like I always say before I close, fear God and keep His commandments, for that is the whole duty of man. Thank you very much, and God bless.